Some people recognize when I convert to Islam that there was a time I was an atheist. There was a time when I was atheistic. And the reason I am now so absolutely certain that God is real is because I've seen evil. I've seen shaitan. I've seen it. When you see enough evil, you realize that there must be an equal and opposite force. And there are people out there in the world today doing the work of the devil, genuine demons, who are trying to destroy the baseline morality that's inside of all of us. We're all born with some kind of morality, and they're trying to destroy it.
And that's exactly the Islamic understanding, that we believe that you're born with something called fitrah, which is the initial goodness. You're born with an innate belief, receptivity to believe in one God. Yeah. And then that is corrupted. In fact, there's a prophet, hadith of the Prophet where he says, كُلُّ مَوْلُودٍ يُولَدُ عَلَى الْفِطْرَةِ. Every born child is born upon this initial goodness. فَأَبَوَاهُ يُهَوِّدَانِهِ أَوْ يُنَصِّرَانِهِ أَوْ يُمَجِّسَانِهِ. And then his father and mother or his parents, they socialize him into, you know, Christianity, Judaism, Magiism. So the idea is that everyone is born with this
so let's stop there. He's talking about being born with initial goodness. It reminds me a little bit of the talk, you know, in Catholicism and original sin and all that stuff. Just all of my grade school stuff is coming back. I went to Catholic school, by the way. I know I say I'm not, you know, super into organized religion, but I went to Catholic school from first grade all the way up until senior in high school. I took religion. I thought religion was very interesting to me. I couldn't find my home in the organized structure. Maybe I was in the wrong structure. That's possible too, right? You find yourself in a structure and it's not about the structure, the idea of structure. It's about the structure you're in that maybe isn't the right fit. That happens to people too. I think this is really, really interesting what he says though, because you can't, if you know evil, if you've seen it, and we all know, you ever met somebody and you have really seen evil emerge through them. The energy is just bad. It's dark. There's something, and I'm not talking about, you know, somebody who just has a bad personality, or I'm talking about you look into somebody's eyes and there is something evil and deeply uncomfortable about even being around them. Their energy is incredibly dark. Maybe you've seen it. I certainly have. Not many times, but I certainly have. When you see that manifest, when you see evil policies manifest, when you see people being denied access to organ transplants because they made a different medical decision for their life, when you see this evil, when you see pornography being pushed on children, when you see the evil of mutilation on kids, when you see that evil, you know there's good. You know there's good because there has to be a counterbalance to that evil. So that's how you find God. If you haven't found God, and that's okay, by the way, everybody's on their own journey with this, and I understand the complexity of it, and I understand rejecting sometimes what you were raised with, but if you have seen evil, you will see God. I promise you that. And it's interesting. I'm going to go back to my conversation with Father Vincent Lampert, who was here, who's an exorcist. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because he's going to be coming back for part 2. And I have some different questions for him this round, but I remember asking him if he had sat in front of someone and saw evil, and he said, absolutely. It's a feeling of just darkness. When you're around people like that, get away, by the way. It's going to do you no good to be around them. So that's interesting from Andrew Tate, who suddenly became religious and can reflect on an atheist past by saying, I saw the evil and then I saw God. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have been through that exact moment. Okay, let's go to another clip from him, which I think is really on the money here and aligns very much with how I've been feeling. I actually hadn't seen him talk about this until I did research for this show. 2131, listen carefully.
Thinking about the work of the devil, which is what's happening right now. We're currently in a fight of good versus evil. It's genuinely that serious. This is whether it's the Bible or the Quran or any superhero movie, this is the battle of good versus evil. And anybody who's who doesn't see that every armed conflict on the planet, the conflict for our minds, the way the Matrix is attempting to control us, this is genuinely a battle of God versus Satan. And if you think that you can just sit idly by while these two titans go to war and you're not going to end up caught up in the crossfire, then you're absolutely and utterly ignorant at best, a coward at worst, and I think it's most likely cowardice. We're in the middle of the greatest battle that humankind has ever faced, and unless people stand up and actually try and fight hard for good and for God, then we're going to end up in absolute tyrannical slavery.
Yeah. So, and this is really interesting to me because he equates, tyranny with evil. And that 100% is. Name me a tyrannical country, a country that's gone deep into communism, where you don't have massive poverty, where you don't have massive suffering, where you don't have a bunch of people elite at the top that are benefiting, and then the masses just starving oftentimes. It's evil. It's a very evil structure. To try to control your freedom is evil. That's taking your bodily autonomy away, your ability to live the life that you want for yourself, and robbing you of that under the guise of protecting and saving you, which sounds awfully satanic, right? It sounds awfully manipulative. And I remember that coming up in my interview as well, by the way, when I spoke to Father Lambert and he talked about the devil and he talked about the attributes of the devil. He said the devil is a manipulator. The devil is very manipulative. What have you seen emerge in the last few years? Constant manipulation. Oh, this is safe and effective for you. Oh, wait, but my doctor said it's not. Oh, no. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. So much of that was built on deception. So much of that was built on, complete and utter manipulation of facts, data. Oh, your kid needs to be masked in school. I mean, think about what's happened and the tactics that have been used to manipulate the masses. Oh, lock your business down, put yourself into starvation. Here's the justification why. We're only looking out for you. We're here to help you. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Massive manipulation. Look at the manipulation that's happening on TikTok of these kids that are now involved in this contagion where they're wanting to go and mutilate themselves because they're confused in their life and TikTok told them that maybe they have gender dysphoria. TikTok. So just keep your eyes open to the manipulation that's happening. What about the manipulation coming from the WEF all the time? Oh, don't worry, you'll be able to track your carbon footprint. It'll all be voluntary. Oh, these 15-minute cities? Oh, it's not at all a little, sample of what would happen in a quarantine zone. No. We're just looking out for you. Doesn't it all sound awfully tyrannical and highly manipulative? It's dark. This stuff is dark. You have to be willing to take that extra leap to consider the supernatural. And I know it's a next step, but there's something going on here that's just beyond man. It just is. It's just too dark and too deep. If you like the short clip and want to watch the full episode, click here. And if you want to connect with me one-on-one on Connect, you're going to click right here. Let's get to talking.